This could end up very bad. But that's okay. I think it's fine. I mean, it might spell the death of the NP, or it might spell the death of the Republican Democrats, but, you know, that is what it is. The oil crisis erupts. Following the break of the summer conflicts in the Middle East and the deaths of chairman Enrico Mattei, the stocks of the ENI, Italy's most prominent oil company, have fallen immensely. Due to Italy's role in the major players of the world trade, the panic has spread waves across the global markets, and the price of oil has shot up. Oil has played a crucial part in the global conflict with Germany, Japan, and America, being the most valuable resources in transportation and warfare. With the outbreak of conflict, there is the need for oil to become intense, and the powers of the world once more eye the region festering conflicts with great interest. Looking to support whatever faction, nation, or leaders that will allow for their economic footholds, it seems that a new battleground has been placed upon the world stage, one in which will change the face of Middle Eastern politics forever. People of the world... Okay, so they're now the oil crisis. I can't import anything? I have no factories? 68%? The oil crisis is a 25% penalty. That's not good. You want the annual deficit to be a negative number. Get a surplus to pay off debts. Machine falters. Like any engine worth its name, the American economy functions on the continuous flow of oil. Its boom paves the country's many thousands of miles of highway. It petrols keysrens and diesel fuel of trucks, planes, ships, and cars, transferring money and goods from city to city. Its naphtha and gas compose many chemicals and heat many homes. Whether it rigs off Louisiana coast or the beautiful bountiful of the Arabian Peninsula, cheap oil is a linchpin keeping the world's strongest economy strong from the bottom up. One sunny day... the one sunny day in a turn of a decade, oil prices quadrupled to $12 a barrel, and like an engine with neither lubricant or fuel, the world's strongest economy sputters into a sudden stop. Pandemonium strikes Wall Street's floors. The index is a down dovetail pass through the throughs, no sign of slowing down, let alone stopping. Main streets fares a little better. Look only at the miles-long line of cars outside gas stations across the country, both awaiting shipments of fuel that will never come. As conversations spark abroad, the crisis they have brought to America's shores have skyrocketed the price of goods while simultaneously keeping the people from earning money or earning money for them. In other words, the cataclysm poised to stunt, even reverse, a decade of growth. America turns desperately to Capitol Hill for an answer to the world's first ever oil shock. Congress turns desperately to the White House for solutions to the quandary of evades modern economic thought. The buck has landed on the Resolute desk. When and how should its occupant respond? Well, unlock more national focuses, which I think does stop whatever I was doing. But that's okay. Don't worry about that. The Earth bleeds. So we gotta solve the oil crisis. Right now, it's a bit of a disaster. A 25% consumer good factory is not what we want, which I know is a huge surprise. But now we don't have enough chromium. We don't have enough rubber. We still have a surplus of 283 oil, so I'm not too sure what the hell these people are talking about with us not having enough oil. We seem to be fine. Like, we get 5.3k a day. Why are we spending 3,000 on the Navy? Is it just because, like, boats are for some reason just, like, randomly in the ocean sometimes? Yeah, like, just why are you here? Go to New Zealand. Sudan's defeated those guys in a war. Yeah, you just kind of sit in the middle of the ocean. I don't know why. Solid NPP campaign. The RDs has run a Stratal campaign. So after that, I guess we will... Let's go for the East Coast next, I think, would make the most amount of sense. When we have the opportunity to do this. The mod is the New Order, which you can find on the Steam Workshop. Everything's bigger and what do you guys actually do for us? Adds 14 oil. But, like, I'm not actually taking an oil penalty. Like, I still have a ton of oil. What are you talking about? After this, let's go for... better engineering company seems okay. Synthetic alternative. We probably want to do all of these to get rid of this penalty, though, right? All is not well. Okay, the country is now in crisis. Okay, so when I was asking about what the crisis was, apparently it's this oil crisis, which makes sense. It is in the name. But I mean, these are all 21 days. There's only like a handful of stuff even here anyway, so it's not actually that bad. The earth bleeds. Beneath the shifting sands of the Middle East, oil pumps like blood through the veins of some slumbering pre-renal deity. Prescoy Dierix pierce the sediments of their hundreds, gluttonous, sucking up the earth's bountiful to feed the world's limitless thirst for petroleum. It is strange, absurd even to think about the most valuable commodity in the world, and indeed, the grease that spins society's cogs is little more than a corpse of a prehistoric flora. And yet, every day America burns through an uncountable tons of this ancient biomass, without which our nation would grind to a screeching halt. Perhaps the only thing in the Middle East older than the land itself is the people. They wandered the sands for 1,000 generations before the first city, and will surely do so after the fall of the last. Entrenched in their ancient ways, they fought and married each other for millennia. In its never-ending dance of civilization, and every so often as the year ground by, the cradle of humanity exploded into sudden and ferocious violence. Once more, blood is spilled on the sand. Under the Italian boot for decades, the Arabs have risen up to form a nascent United Arab Republic, intent on expelling the foreigners from their homeland and taking claim to their own destiny. As the Italians desperately try to stop the spread of rebellion, the Saudi king watches from Riyadh, perhaps seeking his opportunity to grip the region with an iron fist. Our diplomatic staff, terrified at this explosion and gunfire they can hear from their offices, have been sending in frantic reports on the escalating crisis. Reading between the lines, the central message is clear. Our oil supply is threatened. The situation appears bleak. America may soon find itself the pride of oil unless we act soon and decisively. As the Middle East embroils itself in bloodshed, the policymakers in Washington is debatable what action to take, and our men in the Middle East are airlifted to safety. One thing is certain, it is happening again. Negative 125 political power? The Syrian Republic is here. You've actually made a whole alliance here, huh? The United Arab States have formed. Yeah, because you're communist. You're just a despot. You're all fighting Saudi Arabia. You're not in anything. I mean, Saudi Arabia can't win a war. Especially if it starts... I mean, you're actually only one division. You have 9. You have 23. The Saudis have 2. So there's no way in hell they can actually end up winning that war. I mean, Saudi Arabia is dead. If we can work with these guys to kind of... Because, I mean, it would make sense. If I were any of these guys, I'd probably want to align more with the United States than Germany or Japan. Because you are part of the Arab League, but you're the only country in the Arab League. So I don't see how that helps you out. I think we want one of you to be upgraded. After that, we'll go for... probably just like a better... Just you, whatever that is. We'll get that going as well. Because I'm assuming you are probably sending units down to this desert to fight off. Because you're not going to join the war. Because you only have one division. This guy will actually never directly intervene. Even though his allies would send troops there. And we want to go to the East Coast. Are you... yeah, you're just like a independent Arab country. Well, I mean, you're probably at the Italians, but still. After this, let's go for the Federal Energy Office. Is there anything we can actually do in regards to oil? Not as far as I can tell. And unsurprisingly, the oil crisis probably is not going to make the current government very popular. Which makes sense. There's actually... yeah, there's only one... there's one senator whose seat is probably safe. So we'll see how that kind of goes for them. The NPP are going to get very, very powerful, I would imagine, in November. Very powerful indeed. You guys are still fighting. The West Siberian Republic. Actually, you're no longer at war. mean, you are... I don't think you even have a port anymore. So, I mean, we did support you a little bit, Boris Yeltsin, but you're basically garbage. And realistically, you, like, shouldn't even be here. Okay, so... we have technology research. Let's just go for you. Just upgrade all of our aircraft. And already said run a middle campaign. Okay, that's good for us. It means that they won't... or is it bad for us? I really don't know. It depends on how you want to frame this, really. Because I saw people in the YouTube comments were like, you know, what's your actual plan here? And the plan really was from the beginning. I think I said at the very beginning of the entire campaign, it's just kind of a go with the flow kind of attitude. The Russian states can drop a ceasefire? Okay. A tight grip on the east. After reasserting its hegemony over the lands formerly belonging to the Eastern Reich Commissars, the Reich decided to reorganize them into the Reichsländer, autonomous regions under strict surveillance from Germania. The native Reichsländer, aided by the government mostly by their choosing, shall oversee civilian administration in order to ensure a tight grip over the territory, but better administration compared to the excess perpetrated by some of the old Reich Commissars. While this will mitigate some of the worst effects of German domination, most observers agree that it'll do little to quench the burning hate the natives feel for their overlords, and they believe that it'll increase wave of partisan attacks is to be expected at the first sign of weakness from the government. I'm not too sure what you did, honestly. Like, nothing here looks different on the east. Unless you all get annexed into Germany. Apparently you're now, like, civilian governments, I guess. We'll see. Let's go for... I mean, it doesn't really matter which one we choose. We'll set the prices. Seems like an okay place for us to start. What do you... we have something in here we can do for free? I like doing free focuses. Oh, the option to campaign. Right. Okay, no, I think they are slowly changing. Yeah, because now it's Reichsland, not Reichskommissar. Yeah, so that's the difference. So I guess then they are slowly going into civilian economies. A calamitous NPP campaign. Okay, so that's actually have given the Republicans more support in the East Coast. So I guess next we'll go for New England when we can. Again, all those are way too expensive. We can't take any of those, unfortunately. You really just cannot get to Morocco, can you? Like, once you actually got to Morocco, I mean, the war would be pretty easy for you to win as well. You should be ready soon. So yeah, so we're probably going to go for New England for our next option there. Can we trade it all yet? No, we still have no factories available to us. I mean, the Arabian Republic is definitely going to win. It is just a matter of time. Oh, Iraq has also exploded into a civil war, huh? Fantastic. I love more wars. Are you in... are any of you guys part of any of the factions? No, you're not. So we got you... we got the Islamic Republic, Ba'athist Iraq, Iraqi Republic, and Kurdistan. Okay. And Baghdad actually looks like it's a different country as well. Just led by... okay, just no faction. Iraq collapsed into civil war. Right now, we are supporting the... when we click any of these buttons, we're doing it for the NPP. Basically, we are kind of like throwing like a wrench into the whole situation. Because conflict is more interesting than just kind of securing all our position here. After that, let's go for enforced rationing. Appeal for recognition in the United States of America. We received messages from George V. Zhukov, Grand Marshal of the West Russian Revolutionary Front, that wish to be recognized as a legitimate state with the legitimate government of West Russia. Should we accept or show our close alignment to the front, it may anger some of the other Russian governments in Germany. However, it will no doubt extend our partnership and even bring us closer to them, possibly giving us a future ally. West Russia is also prominent producing a large number of goods and recognizing a government will surely be better for a trade relationship. However, we do not share a similar government with the front, as us being a capitalist republic and them being more or less a communist dictatorship, it may go against our values of democracy. But hey, at least they hate fascists, right? Zukov also seems to incline to reform, though it may be very well in our interest. I mean, they're clearly, like... I'm going to recognize them. Because I would have recognized Yeltsin if he didn't just get his ass kicked. Like, if Yeltsin had won the war, then Yeltsin all the way. Like, we would have supported his little republic. But he just lost, like, 15 different states. So, you know, it is what happens. And he also would, maybe provide some sort of counter to the Germans at some point. Capital is commodities. Wall Street is the heart of the American economy, and today it's beaten harder than ever. Turmoil erupted on the trading floor after our plan to set price on oil became public, and what can only be described as mass hysteria ensued as traders followed the trail of current events to the ongoing crisis in the Middle East, realizing the ways the wind were blowing. Thankfully, it proved to be a minor hiccup, and the chaos of the trading floor quickly quieted down. Despite the initial hullabaloo, setting price on oil has allowed us to maintain control on Wall Street and kept the markets relatively stable, averting the economic disaster many of our advisors were certain was imminent. Of course, we've also made a lot of people angry. Commodity traders in particular are unsurprisingly furious. But the anger of a gang of hair-gelled, smooth-talking champagne drinkers is a small price to pay to avoid an economic meltdown. 25 political power, here we come. Well, right now, the far right have a vast majority of the seats. 27 to center of 6. But a lot of these areas, like New England, the East Coast, the Deep South winning is not a huge surprise, but like I think a lot of these areas, like the Great Lakes, are more likely probably going to go center NPP. So we'll see if they kind of balance themselves out. Because having center NPP isn't so bad, because they'll still work with Johnson, I think, at some point. Poll's been updated, fantastic. The Italian Gulf states. I think Italy has Libya, they have Ethiopia, and they still have the United Arab Emirates, but the rest of the territory they have lost. The communists have one in Oman. They might end up joining with the Arab the Arab states. We'll see in the future. Yeah, Saudi Arabia has one division. How are you still at? How's this war not over yet? That's what I want to know. They already run a respectful campaign. Like, you think the war would just be over with one division on one side and significantly more on the other. Probably, like, wants to take Mecca. It'll be better for them. And assuming, yeah, you like us because we've recognized you. Eyes to the west. So, yeah, they're doing some good stuff. Apply for OFN aid. Like, how many men? Like, 49 divisions is almost actually as many as we have. How much population do you have? 243,000. They could be a good ally against Germany in the future if we ever need them. Our campaign's going to be ready in 6 more days. Go for the synthetic alternative, and we'll see if we can maybe alleviate the disaster that we're currently facing. Who are you? Yeah, Donst. He claimed Crimean. I guess Germany just never decided to take that territory back. Solid NPP campaign. You're having a pact on non-aggression with the Italians. Do we have a spy? I completely forgot about this mechanic. Yeah, let's build a spy network here. So you can actually see if we can see what focuses Germany has taken. Could be useful. Republic of Iraq has defeated the Islamic Republic of Iraq. So I think that Ba'athist are kind of looking to be the most likely to win here. And I wonder, once Saudi Arabia is dead... Now, okay, now it's Kurdistan against the Ba'athist. 4 against 7. Yeah, so I think the Ba'athists are going to win. So I think that's like an Italian-aligned Iraq. Put them in Burgundy. Even if you put them in Burgundy, it doesn't actually show you, like, you can't read any of this stuff. So it doesn't matter so much. Only if you're playing as Burgundy, I think you can actually see what they're doing. I guess inner one division just has to be in like Mecca. Or they're not even walking towards Mecca, which I think would be a major mistake for them. Okay, so we got the synthetic alternative. Let's see if we can maybe divert the disaster. We're going to get, what, 75 political power? Okay, not bad. We've been hovering around negative 600 for a while. And if you are enjoying the stream, remember to click the follow button if you are not already following the channel, so you can watch future streams when they become available. Yeah, let's just go for vehicle companies. That seems like a good choice for us. We can command him to reunify, but he's got to do a focus. Cancer that's killing the Reich. I think they're getting rid of their slaves. I think this is what this option is. Where is that in their tree? I'm assuming this is about the oil. No, that's about Japan. Okay. They already said run a respectful campaign. We want to probably go. Probably still the East Coast. Try another campaign there, because we still got a few more months until the election happens. His entire thing is getting rid of the slaves. Now you got a non-aggression pact with Germany. So the Italians and Germany, they've kind of, you know, made some things here. The historic handshake. This was it. The moment Yakovlev has been waiting for. He had finally gotten to meet the President of the United States, and they talked about so much more than just trade agreements. There was a lot more to know about America than Yakovlev realized, and of course he had mentioned how things were back home. They were much better since the last time Yakovlev visited America, that was for sure. While his charms may have been useful in the negotiations, now he would need some different charms. The big moment was upon them. The two would appear before the world and show the world the partnership between Russia and America. Stepping outside the White House door, speaking in fluent English, Yakovlev turned to the president. President Lyndon B. Johnson, it's been an honor to meet you. I'm very happy about the partnership between our two nations. Open trade will surely benefit us both. I feel the same, Mr. Yakovlev, said the president. I do hope this partnership continues, and I promise I'll try everything I can to persuade Congress the benefits of our alliance. I'm glad you chose to be with us to move onwards into the future. Yakovlev held his hand, smiling with the president, and at the cameras, the president shook it as if they were blinded by camera lights from the countless reporters and journalists. Yeah, I know that he can't go authoritarian democratic as basically being, I think, like the best case scenario for them. So I'm assuming we met with somebody here. Can I actually see who's we have 90% information, police plus 40%. Yeah, so we've met with their foreign minister. So I wonder, like, I'm sure Russia at some point, like, can they actually invade Germany? I don't actually know. So they eventually want you to kind of reunite all of this. So who are we going to vote for? Who should we go for the oil? Should we plan with the Pan-Arabs in Cairo with this alliance, or should we go with Saudi Arabia, whose capital is currently occupied by the Pan-Arabs? I wonder. A very difficult choice. Look to the Arabian Peninsula. There's a chance that this war would have been over before we even got to the event. Oil prices have finally fallen from their peak after fast, painstaking action from Washington in the crisis' immediate days. Once growing to exponential highs, they now begin their slow yet inexorable decline to bearable lows. It may take years before they fully return to normal, if they ever return, of course, but America sighs a breath of relief regardless. Its people knowing that they can finally go back to work and reasonably pay for their essentials, and its government knowing that it can finally turn outwards to address oil stocks' root cause. Many can reasonably point to Italy's crumbling empire in the Middle East as a point zero for the world's market's newest growing pain. Their inability to contain or at least moderate the people unrest has caused wave after wave of disruptions to the world's largest supplier of cheap, sweet crude oil. The Congress near unanimous for apathy for the ailing and off-floof empire's miserable fortunes. Washington has decided that supporting the movement to break the peninsula free from Rhodes talents will most help and stabilize the region and turn the oil wells. Still, even proponents of the pro-Arab intervention are divided both over its extent and recipient. Vigorous debate has sprung over whether America should lend its hand to Yasser Arafat Ba'athist in the United Arab Republic, or the influential House of Saud and its patriarch King Faisal. If ambiguous over the hand size, shape, and delivery, the President of the United States has at last settled. Yeah, no. Of course we're gonna go for the Pan-Arabs. They're clearly winning. Oh, it's not even a question. So we're now considered stabilized. I don't know why this symbol has broken, but that's okay. A new republic. These are also now covering over each other. Honestly, I don't think we need to even do any of these focuses. Because they're about to win, like, right now. So let's improve stability by 2%. We're actually at negative 3% stability again? Oh, God. What's our biggest penalty here? It's probably the oil crisis, right? Yeah, it's a negative 15. And also poverty is still horrible. It's still because of horrible poverty. A momentary embolism. Looming disaster has been avoided for now, and the oil flows again freely through America's veins thanks to the oil rationing and a price setting and expansion of our domestic petroleum industry. Now our citizens can once again drive to their dead-end jobs and heat up their TV dinners without fear of impediment. And thank goodness for that, because without oil, America would come apart like a house of cards in a tropical typhoon. Nevertheless, we can't let ourselves become complacent. The turmoil in the Middle East doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. Yes, it does. And although the brunt of the crisis has been averted for the time being, if violence escalates, we can expect a similar chaotic impact on America's markets. Our oil supplies are already stretched pretty far, and the worse it gets, the more draconian our response will have to be just to keep the wheel spinning. Finally, reports are coming in from our men in the Middle East are getting bleaker by the day. Oil distribution is still far from secure, and it appears that none of the players have the power to end the conflict quickly. Most worryingly, we have just received a report from the CIA about several UAR nations joining into a single political entity, but who's to say if that's accurate? All kind of rumors are pouring in, and it's getting more and more difficult to separate the truth from the basic gossip. Right now, there's no way to tell which way the wind is blowing. Yes, there is. And that kind of uncertainty isn't good for anybody. We'll have to wait and see, but at least it seems the worst has been avoided for now. I mean, does Saudi Arabia even have an army anymore? They don't have an army. So, if we just look at this war... Also, apparently this does not count as a conflict here. But let's theoretically... We have 40 divisions against 0. Who's going to win that war? They've taken Mecca. Saudi Arabia. Are they not dead? Do you need to get Saudi Arabia down to 0%? You do. So you actually need to take every province. Which you're going to do in a moment. I think Kurdistan... Yeah, Saudi Arabia's been defeated. I don't think Kurdistan's going to survive against Ba'athist Iraq. We'll have to see, though. What are you? So we have 6 more days till this is finished. You get political power for all those people. Yeah, but now the war's over. They've won. I'm assuming they don't have any actual focuses. But that's okay. They don't need focuses. Can Italy ghost hawk them? An uninspiring NPP campaign. Unfortunate.